Good afternoon. Today we are going to discuss how to hook up a secondary fuse panel to your 12-volt system within your RV. We often get questions about how to hook up our heaters when there's no more fuses left within the 12-volt system fuse panel that is there from the OEM. So we're going to discuss how to hook up a secondary, or what we call a nicknamed piggyback fuse panel, into your RV so you can have more 12-volt fuses and more circuits to use within that system. Sitting in front of me here, I have two types of power converters. This one here, this is a Progressive Dynamics 60 amp power converter. This is a common power standalone power converter used in many RVs produced. Yours may vary slightly from this, but the overall look will be very similar to this. On the back side, you're going to see a couple of different lugs here where you're going to be running your power cords to. But this is considered a standalone power converter. It turns AC power to DC power. This one is also a Progressive Dynamics. It is an integrated power converter. Inside the panel here, you're going to see at the top side here, this is where your 110 volt breakers would go, just like you'd find in your home. And then down through here is where your 12 volt fuses would go. This is a combination load center, is what they're called in the industry. Your power converter is actually on this side. Back inside this area here is where it turns AC to DC power. And what we'll be showing you in the next video clips is how to connect your external or piggyback fuse panel to each of these types of power converters. When attaching your piggyback fuse panel to a standalone power converter, I would recommend using a number 8 wire, an 8 gauge wire going from your standalone converter to the power point of the piggyback fuse panel, and that would happen to be this peg right here. On the back side of your power converter, you're going to see a couple of different ports. One of these will most likely, one of these on each side will most likely have wires in them already. That will be going to your existing panel box in your RV currently. Sometimes the other holes they utilize that for charging systems for the battery itself. Other times that is integrated into the fuse panel of the RV itself. So in either case, you would be attaching your power lead underneath the positive bar. You'll be putting that underneath here, and you'll be attaching the negative or your grounding bar underneath the other one here. If there are wires already there, you can double up those wires as long as the gauge doesn't get too large to fit into the hole there. When hooking your piggyback fuse panel up to a combination load center, it's a little more difficult than connecting it to the standalone converter. Just because of the size constraints, and everything on the combination load center is located internally versus externally. This side over here where you see the fan and all of these coils and different things over here, this is your converter. This side of the box is your converter side of the box. This black wire coming in is the power source coming from your converter to the distribution panel of all of your 12 volt sources here. The white wire is your negative wire coming from the converter again to the power source of your converter. When you are connecting your piggyback fuse panel in, you will be connecting it to where the black wire or the positive side of the converter comes in. You'll loosen up that lug, and we'll put our wire inside that lug and then route it through the back side and out through one of the existing holes into the converter. On the back side of your converter, again, you're going to see the lines going off to your battery. These are your power source lines coming off, going to each individual 12 volt item within your RV. Lights, water pump, smoke detectors, so on and so forth. We will be connecting the black line going to your piggyback fuse panel to the lug in the front. And that will go through, again, an existing hole in the back side of your converter here. Now, as you can see, the inside of our load panel again here. This is the wire that is coming from the back side of your converter box through the existing hole, and it's connected to the lug, the power lug on your distribution panel. On the back side, you can see I've changed the type of clamp that we're using up here. The original clamp looked similar to the ones that are down on the bottom here, and it didn't allow me to get the multiple wires through there. So I've changed that clamp out to allow me to put another clamp in that will accept more than 2 wires to go through. This wire is now connected to the power lug of your converter, and it's routed around to the piggyback fuse panel. This piggyback fuse panel now has a fuse in it. Your power's coming in through here. It's going through here, up through your fuse, and we connect the wires the wire that's going to be going to your 12-volt item that you're trying to connect. So put that on there, and this black wire then is your power source to the item you're connecting. And in this case, and what I would recommend is using what they call rip wire. As you can see, it's 2 wires in one. You can see the black and the white. The black is your power, the white is your ground. And in all situations, close to the back side of your converter, somewhere within your RV, you're going to find this little item. It's called a bus bar or a ground bar. In this case, you'll find that your battery ground will be going through your bus bar, and then this one is actually going to the converter. Then you're going to find the other wire generally coming in from your battery to this same bus bar. This ensures a solid ground connection for every item that's 12 volt in your system. Most of them are going to come back and connect into this bus bar. So this, as you can see, it's the same wire that's going to the piggyback fuse panel. It connects underneath the lug in one of the bus bars here. And then this white wire will connect to the ground lead of your 12 volt item you're connecting. 9 times out of 10, when we have problems with a 12 volt item, it's a grounding problem. And if you look at your ground wires and see where they're grounded, if they're grounded to the frame, that connection will usually corrode and cause problems in the future. So I highly recommend coming back to a bus bar connection for your grounding. We have given you a basic understanding of how to hook up an additional 12 volt fuse supply within your RV through these video clips. If you have any questions about anything that we have shown within this video or any others on our website, please feel free to contact us here at UHI Worldwide.